Hey, what's up, y'all? We're over here in Taiwan, right? And I was sitting on my bed back there, just chilling, looking at YouTube videos, trying to find some content to put together when this gem came across my page. The deportation of 1,200 illegal migrants back to their home countries. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch this video with y'all and react to it. I'm gonna do my best not to interrupt the flow of information, okay?
Across airports nationwide, thousands of individuals with final deportation orders are currently being placed on scheduled flights under ICE operations. ICE operations have escalated, and the deportation flights are non-stop. These aren't isolated removals. This is a full-scale enforcement campaign. From Texas to California, Arizona to Louisiana, aircraft are quietly lifting off, packed with individuals being removed under final deportation orders.
ICE going stealth
in this video, we'll break down how many are being deported each week, where these flights are headed, and the growing debate over how these operations are being carried out. But before we move further, if you believe real change is happening and want to stay informed, make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Y'all think real change is happening in the USA right now with all these illegal migrants being deported back to their home countries, right? With Trump passing banning that was what did Trump ban? He banned the birthright citizenship. What are y'all thinking about what Donald Trump is doing in office right now? Me, I'm supporting that man. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they did not stand for what was best for the USA. I'm gonna land my plane there while these planes take off. Let's go.
Right now, the United States is carrying out a record-breaking volume of deportations via air, many of them coordinated under ICE's Specialized Air Transport Division, ICE Air Operations. This division operates quietly, without media fanfare, but its impact is massive. These aren't random or reactive removals. They are routine, scheduled charter flights, contracted through private aviation companies, staffed by federal officers, and secured with military-level protocols.
Wow.
On board are individuals with final deportation orders, some detained during high-profile workplace enforcement operations, others encountered during unannounced home visits or after traffic stops. Some have been in ICE custody for weeks or months. Others are moved through the system in a matter of days. According to updated figures from the Department of Homeland...
Look, y'all, ICE ain't playing. Trump ain't playing. If y'all can't tell, this is strategically planned out. Trump wants these people out of here. Isn't this what the majority of the U.S. citizens voted for? Removing these illegal migrants. Me, I voted for Trump because I wanted these illegals gone. I'm telling y'all, right now, I'm sitting over here living in Taiwan. I'm a legal citizen because I went through all the immigration processes over here to become a legal citizen in this country. So I respect the system, okay? You gotta do things by the law. And since those illegal migrants broke the law, boot it, they gotta go.
And security. More than 215,000 individuals have been deported since January 2025. And in June alone, the weekly average has jumped, with some weeks exceeding 6,000 removals nationwide.
6,000,
but the pace is accelerating. This week alone, multiple independent reports suggest that at least 1,200 people have been deported by air, many within just 48 to 72 hours of arrest.
Dang.
What's changed is the speed and precision of the system.
The speed. Oh, yeah.
ICE now relies on real-time surveillance, mobile fingerprint scanners, and a powerful AI database called Falcon to identify, locate, and process individuals faster than ever before. This means fewer delays, fewer appeals, and in many cases, some individuals are removed under expedited removal provisions.
Illegal migrants, self-deport, get out of here. Avoid these unnecessary consequences. The big man that gave y'all the order, y'all better listen. We ain't supporting y'all. Bye. Adios, amigos.
Which apply when legal residency requirements aren't met. Behind each of these flights are dozens of local-level enforcement actions. Detentions in residential areas, workplace visits, and law enforcement cooperation near civic buildings have become more frequent. Surprise visits to job sites, restaurants, and warehouses. Each arrest feeds into a well-oiled pipeline. Detain, process, transfer, deport.
Dang.
Often within days. It's a system designed for volume, and in 2025 it's operating at full capacity.
Dang.
While Texas, Arizona, and California continue to serve as the backbone of ICE's deportation flight network, a noticeable shift is underway. New cities are quietly becoming hotspots for removals. ICE's strategy is evolving, not just geographically, but tactically. In Charlotte, North Carolina, courthouse arrests have surged throughout June. According to reports from local attorneys and legal aid organizations, ICE presence has increased near courthouses, where some individuals with past immigration issues have been detained following scheduled appearances for scheduled hearings, including civil matters like custody, eviction, or traffic citations. Many of those detained have no criminal record, but are flagged due to past visa overstays or missed immigration court dates. Immigrant rights groups say this marks a return to pre-2020 tactics that were previously restricted, and some community members say this has led to reduced engagement with local services, citing growing concern. In Baltimore, Maryland, a quieter form of enforcement is underway. ICE has ramped up its use of detainer requests for individuals held in local jails, even for non-violent offenses, such as driving without a license or unpaid court fees. Advocacy organizations fear this may signal a broader removal activity across Maryland's non-citizen population in the weeks to come.
Listen, migrants, there ain't nowhere y'all can go. If y'all gotta go down to that courthouse for any reason whatsoever, whether it is family court, whether it is anything, okay? If they see you and you are an illegal migrant and you have got that red flag hanging over your head, okay, you out of here. Self-deport.
Particularly as more local law enforcement agencies begin sharing real-time booking data with federal immigration officials. And across multiple states, including parts of Florida, Nevada, and Ohio, ICE has resumed what some reports describe as overnight removal transfers. These are late-night transfers of detainees from ICE facilities to secured airfields between midnight and 5 a.m., specifically designed to minimize public visibility and avoid activist interference. Transport vans roll in under heavy escort. Detainees are transferred onto chartered removal flights and takeoff occurs before sunrise. These flights are scheduled during overnight hours to reduce operational delays and public disruption, according to sources. What these developments signal is clear. ICE is no longer just focusing on traditional border states. It is expanding inland, moving quickly, and using a mix of legal loopholes, timing, and technology to carry out removals, and for undocumented individuals living far from the border, especially in places once considered low risk. The threat of deportation is no longer distant. It's local, and it's active. ICE continues to claim that its operations are focused strictly on criminal non-citizens and recent unlawful border crossers. Growing evidence suggests
maybe somebody lying to you. ICE used to claim that these deportation tactics was for criminal non-locals in the USA, but what?
And recent unlawful border crossers. Growing evidence suggests that the scope of enforcement is far broader and intensifying. Across several states, reports from community organizations, immigrant resource centers, and regional news outlets indicate a noticeable uptick in deportations involving individuals with no criminal convictions, long-term undocumented residents who've lived in the U.S. for years or even decades, people with strong family ties, including those with U.S.-born children, asylum applicants with pending cases still awaiting court hearings. In many of these cases, the individuals targeted are not public safety threats, nor are they recent entrants at the southern border. Instead, they are being flagged through routine contact with local law enforcement, DMV databases, or employer audits, then processed and removed under fast-track removal procedures. What's changed according...
I told y'all, illegal migrants, y'all can't hide. Y'all had how many years of time to be in the USA to get all y'all paperwork straightened out and get everything sorted and taken care of, but you didn't do it? This is why you get no compassion from me. Y'all had all that time, and what y'all do? Y'all sit on your asses talking shit about black people. Bye. Adios, amigos.
According to multiple observers, is not just who is being deported, but how quickly the system is moving. Due to policy shifts introduced in early 2025, ICE has reactivated tools like expedited removal, which allows agents to bypass immigration court in many cases and deport individuals without a hearing if they're unable to prove long-term U.S. residency.
Y'all don't even get
In
to
parallel,
stay.
immigration enforcement
Y'all don't even get to
databases
go
have been
through a fair
enhanced with
trial in
real-time
court.
data
Y'all outta
integration,
here.
meaning visa
Deuces.
overstays, prior
Out. Go to
detainers,
bed.
and
Out.
missed hearings are being flagged faster than ever. This has led to a growing concern among advocates and immigration policy experts that the agency's priorities are quietly shifting from targeted enforcement to mass interior removals, with efficiency and volume becoming the central objectives.
Efficiency
Critics argue
and
that this
volume.
new approach strips away discretion, ignores personal circumstances, and places otherwise peaceful, working residents into the same enforcement pipeline.
I got a question, y'all. You hear what he just said? Why should we give a fuck about personal circumstances for these illegal migrants? Them breaking the laws for the USA and coming to our country illegally and putting burden on our taxation system in the USA? You think they care about our personal circumstances? And then many of the illegal migrants, they went to what? They went to where? Black communities where people struggling already. I'm happy to see these motherfuckers out here. Adios, amigos. You will not be missed.
As those with criminal records or recent unlawful entries. ICE, for its part, maintains that public safety remains the priority. But with each passing week, the data suggests that a significant percentage of those deported do not fit that profile, fueling accusations that the agency's criminal focus is more rhetoric than reality.
I hear that. It's more rhetoric than reality. They ain't doing nothing but talking. They talking. They lying to you, motherfuckers. Illegal migrants. Trying to deceive you because they want you to expose yourself. Because eventually, you're going to have to go into a place where you're going to be seen, okay?
Ongoing surge in deportations isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a broader immigration enforcement strategy set in motion by the current administration. Under President Trump's second term, the White House has made interior enforcement a top priority. While border security remains central to the administration's messaging, officials have repeatedly emphasized that removal operations inside U.S. cities are just as crucial for restoring what they call law and order. According to official statements from the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and senior White House spokespeople, the administration's primary objectives include reducing the backlog of deportation orders, many of which have remained unexecuted for years, speeding up the removal process through expanded use of expedited removal powers, allowing deportations without court hearings for those who fail to prove long-term presence, reactivating courthouse and workplace enforcement, including arrests in previously off-limits sensitive locations, tightening cooperation with local law enforcement, especially in jurisdictions where data sharing had been scaled back under previous policies, and increasing pressure on sanctuary cities, with more targeted operations aimed at areas refusing to fully cooperate with ICE. The White House frames these actions as a necessary correction to what it describes as years of lax enforcement, open border policies, and administrative delay. Officials argue that mass removals are not only legal, they are overdue, especially as the immigration court system faces unprecedented case volumes. One of the key directives revived by the administration is the nationwide expansion of interior enforcement zones. That means ICE agents are no longer restricted to the border or detention centers.
Dang.
They are empowered to act in residential areas, public spaces, transit.
Y'all hear that, man? These ICE agents, they have to go ahead to go into residential areas, neighborhoods, communities, hoods, places of businesses. You know what I'm saying? Trailer parks. You know what I'm saying? ICE is coming for y'all, illegal migrants. And I have no compassion to share for you. You had all that time in the USA. But what y'all want to do? Talk shit about black people and abuse our system. Steal our resources, okay? Bye. I ain't gonna miss you. Adios, amigos.
Hubs and court buildings. There has also been a notable increase in funding for ICE and DHS operations, including the procurement of new surveillance tools, the expansion of detention capacity, and more chartered deportation flights through ICE air operations. At the core of the policy shift is a simple but controversial message. If you are in the United States without legal status, regardless of how long you've been here, how peacefully you've lived, or whether you have pending legal proceedings, you are now a priority for removal.
I applaud that. If you're undocumented, whatever, you are a priority for removal. Give a clap to Donald Trump and ICE, y'all. Let's make our communities better than what they were before we had these illegal migrants in our communities. Fuck America, okay? How about we make America great right now? How about that? The only way we're gonna make America great right now is if we remove the garbage. Yeah, I went there. The garbage. Get these motherfucking cucarachas out of our communities. You shouldn't be there. Biden and Harris, they set y'all up. Y'all was never welcomed here. Y'all shouldn't be in our communities. Get out. Adios. Vete pa' allá. Vete pa'l carajo.
Critics call the strategy aggressive and indiscriminate, warning that it targets not just criminals or recent border crossers, but also longtime contributors to U.S. communities. Supporters, however, argue that this is exactly how immigration enforcement should work: swift, broad, and without exceptions for those in violation of the law. From the administration's point of view, the mission is clear: restore deterrence, enforce the law, and send a message that unlawful presence in the U.S. will no longer be overlooked.
Unlawful presence in the U.S. will no longer be overlooked.
As deportation flights increase and immigration raids intensify,
I think I told y'all already, I am a legal citizen over here in Taiwan, okay? I cannot remain in Taiwan without proper legal status, okay? I am lawful here. If somebody was to pick me up and I was unlawful, guess what would happen to me? Deported back to the USA, okay? I have no compassion to give to these illegal migrants, okay? You had all that time to get y'all shit figured out, but what did you do? You're still on your asses talking shit about black people. And I am washing my hands, I'm sitting down, and I'm saying goodbye. Y'all go figure y'all shit out.
Action on the ground has been swift and deeply divided. Across major cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, and Denver, local communities are reporting a visible atmosphere of heightened concern and caution. In immigrant-heavy neighborhoods, people are staying indoors, skipping work, and avoiding schools.
Staying indoors. It's probably the illegal migrants and the immigrant community who are staying indoors, okay? Because we ain't got nothing to worry about. We can go out and we can live our lives and we can be in public. Ain't nobody gonna deport us nowhere because we was born and raised in the USA. We are legal citizens. Psych, Latinos, y'all played yourselves. You thought they were gonna deport black people? That's because y'all hate black people and y'all brainwashed Latino culture, okay? We are part of the USA. We have every right to be there in the USA legally, and ain't nobody gonna deport us anywhere, okay? Let's go.
Hospitals, and even court appointments, worried that any public appearance could put them in ICE's crosshairs. Yep. Community organizations have begun issuing emergency guidance, urging residents to carry legal documents, know their rights during encounters with immigration agents, and avoid unnecessary travel. Some legal aid hotlines have reported a threefold increase in calls, many from families unsure if a loved one has already been detained.
You know what? It don't matter what y'all do, illegal migrants. ICE has already got this shit figured out. They gonna find you, okay? They are going to find you.
In cities like Chicago and Los Angeles, protests have erupted outside ICE detention facilities and federal buildings. Protesters have voiced strong opposition to the scope of current enforcement actions, urging a more balanced approach to family life, especially when longtime residents or parents of U.S. citizen children are being removed with little notice. In some cases, peaceful protests have turned tense, with clashes between demonstrators and local police, arrests, and calls for city officials to do more to resist federal enforcement actions. Local governments in sanctuary cities have also voiced strong opposition. Mayors and council members in cities like San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Boston have issued public statements condemning ICE's tactics, particularly courthouse arrests and early morning residential enforcement operations. They argue that these actions undermine community trust.
Undermine community trust. Man, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Man, get the fuck out of here. We can't trust y'all, illegal migrants. That's the problem, okay? We can't trust y'all because y'all broke the law to begin with. Why are you coming to our country illegally, breaking the law?
Attorneys and advocacy groups are raising alarms about due process violations. They point to reports of individuals being deported before securing legal representation, or without being fully informed of their rights. a shift they say reflects the administration's emphasis on speed over fairness. But not all reaction is critical. Supporters of the current strategy, including border state lawmakers, sheriff departments, and some vocal conservative groups, argue that these removals are long overdue. They say that years of limited enforcement created an environment of impunity, and that strong, visible action is necessary to restore faith in the legal immigration system.
And we can't fail to mention here that Biden and Harris, they brought a whole bunch of motherfucking illegal migrants to our country. They got the blame to carry for this one, okay? Biden and Harris, that's who you blame.
Towns where immigration is a hot-button issue, some residents have even welcomed the crackdown, believing that it helps address illegal labor, national security risks, and overstretched public resources. What's clear is that this new phase of enforcement is not just a federal initiative. It's now a visible part of daily life in dozens of cities across the country.
Daily life.
And for many undocumented individuals, even those with no criminal history, the message is unavoidable. Enforcement strategies are no longer limited to the border. They are active in cities nationwide and expanding.
Mi amigo, ¿cómo te va? ¿Cómo está usted? I think that what ICE and Donald Trump is doing right now is a step in the right direction. These illegal migrants, they should not have been able to remain in the USA for so much time without becoming legal citizens, period. And I say that because I am a permanent legal citizen over here in Taiwan, talking to y'all about shit that's going on in the USA, okay? I had to be in this country for 5 years legally without breaking the law to become a permanent resident here, okay? Because I'm an English teacher, I was able to get a work contract and a work permit, and because I had those things for 5 consecutive years without breaking the law, okay, staying on the good side of things, I was able to become a permanent Taiwanese resident, okay? It is what it is. I went through the process, I did what I had to do, become a legal citizen in this country, and what I'm saying is that I respect the process, okay? This is how it should be in the USA. If they want to become legal citizens, they have to go through the process if they want to remain there, okay? Some people have been in there for decades, 20 plus years, and then even budge. So listen, I'm done to this video. Before I leave this one, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share. CAC. And I support Trump and ICE and what they're doing to remove these illegal migrants, okay?